Here we are, it's me again, and it's him again.
It's me again.
Both of us again.
And we're here today to talk. What are we going to talk about?
We're going to talk about the greatest year in rock in recent years. Is that
a bold claim?
Is that a bold statement?
It is a very bold statement.
Well, I think it was
It's a Richard O'Brien level of boldness.
All right, well, let's get into it then.
That was it. That was the Crystal Maze guy, wasn't it?
To the Crystal Dome!
Yeah.
Richard O'Brien, yeah, baldy.
Yeah, it was bold.
Yeah, he was mated by one in... what's he called? Stephen will know. He watches it on a nightly basis, doesn't he? What's it called?
Doctor Who or something?
No, what's the bloody hell? Friggin' hell. What's the Rocky Horror Show?
Oh.
He plays...
yeah, I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, he plays the main guy, doesn't he? With the... What's he? I can't know his bloody character name.
Not Frankenfurter.
Frank... Oh,
I'm gonna let a confession here. I've never watched it.
Have you not?
No.
In your house?
No, I know.
With
Yeah.
Nicola?
Yeah, I've avoided
I thought
it.
it'd be absolutely bang up her street.
No, it is. Oh, yeah,
All right.
it is, yeah.
I'll say you managed to avoid it.
Yeah,
okay. It's certainly a strange watch.
Is it? I can imagine, yeah.
It's worth a watch.
Is it the one with Tim Curry?
Tim Curry, yeah, that's it, yeah. Yeah, I've watched it. I've only watched it once, and
I know the
it blew
songs,
my mind.
Time Warp. That's
it.
Yeah, I know of it. You know, I'm familiar, but I've never sat down and watched it all the way through.
Yeah, I watched it a few years ago, and I thought I've never seen it before. Yeah, I can't remember his bloody character's name. I can see he's got an hunchback, can he? Anyway, there you go. But yeah, it's Meatloaf's in it, isn't he? I think there's a few other little cameos in there. People are going mad on the... Well, they won't go mad on our comment section because they never go mad on our comment section, but they'll be going mad,
They'll be blowing up.
It'll be blowing up our inbox. How dare you? You don't know anything about it.
Nah, I've always tried to avoid that kind of shite, to be honest. But no, I'm only joking. I'm only saying that because I know...
fucking reel him in.
It's just not my thing, but I know it's a very popular thing. It's just musicals in general. To be honest, I'm not.
Yeah. Maybe that's a chat for a podcast. That.
It is, yeah.
How do you feel about musicals?
Shite. There you go.
Shite. Yeah.
Next podcast.
That's been the shortest podcast ever. Good
no,
to see
you know what? There's levels of musical. I like some musicals.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's all that West Side Story kind of, you know.
It's over dramatic. Do you know?
To symbolise having a fight with
Yeah.
dance. Come on, yeah. I know. Oh, that'll show them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know, I don't know. I just it's when you have to sing every single kind of interaction is like sung in a stupid sing-songy way, and it doesn't even rhyme.
Everything's a dramatic scenario.
Yeah,
isn't it?
I can't be asked for that. No,
it's too much. It's too much like hard work, is what it is. Eh?
Too contrived for my tastes.
Anyway,
that's not what we were going to talk about.
Back to the boldest statement I've made in the past few weeks.
Go on then. Yeah.
For us anyway. When we started the band Massive Wagons in 2009, we were in another band, a covers band. But I thought at that time, 2008 and 2009. Now I was up until that point myself, and probably you as well, was really only listening to kind of probably 70s and 80s. Rock music, you know,
yeah,
is that fair to say? A lot Deep Purple,
a lot
and
of
DC.
classic rock, yeah.
Classic rock. But then in 2008, 2009, it seemed to the scene exploded. I think with new younger rock bands, which I used to get Classic Rock magazine, and again I've mentioned it a million times. I used to get the little CDs, and every now and then you'd get some amazing bands on them free CDs. That's how the first time I ever heard Airborne was on that CD. And then you went to watch Airborne, and then you've got the Black Spiders. And it was the other band that was Taking Dawn. And then around the same time, 2008 and 2009, is The Answer, Heaven's Basement,
Blackstone Cherry,
Blackstone Cherry,
Shinedown.
I mean, Blackstone Cherry. Those first two albums maybe the first one came out. I don't know off the top of my head what year it came out. Maybe 2006, 2007.
Stupendous albums.
But they were amazing, weren't they?
Yeah, they were. I mean, I think depressingly enough time has passed since then that it's weird to think that like we talk about that time when at that time you would have talked about the early 90s. In the same kind of time context.
Yeah, it probably that era there. Although we were influenced massively by the 70s and 80s and stuff, that was our massive influence, wasn't it? It's
almost like a sort of. I know this classic rock revival, new wave of classic rock, new wave of British classic rock, whatever. This seemed to be like a revival of classic rock, but like a kind of, so the 90s had happened, grunge had happened, you know, which whatever anyone thinks of it, I think it needed to happen. I think we've talked about this in other podcasts, you know, there's only so much hairspray in the world, isn't there?
Where was it going to go?
Exactly.
It was getting old, wasn't it? Really.
And it was getting a bit, you know, trends changed and it got grungy and went the complete opposite. Flannel shirts were in.
It was a total opposite, wasn't it? It was
total
antithesis.
Opposite. Yeah.
Is that the word?
Yeah, looking miserable, and rather than looking larger than life and ever miserable, and you know, all the 80s glam stuff, it was then to looking almost like you'd want to be anywhere else, like me, basically, you know, like this.
Yeah, in your shirt,
yeah. You basically want to look,
normal,
yeah, and then new metal, all that kind of early, you know, pop punk, kind of took over the sort of 2000s bit.
It did, yeah.
And then when that kind of all went, like you say, I think that's when all of a sudden classic rock was kind of back in, you know.
It was, yeah.
New bands emulating.
To be honest, I'd kind of forgotten about new metal. I loved that. I was massively into Limp Bizkit. I thought they were amazing. But yeah, when I came out of the Air Force and then came back home, and we all met up, and when we were playing in bands, it was we were playing all those old covers, and then it was like, have you heard this band Airborne? Fucking hell! Have you heard this band The Answer? Fuck me! Heaven's Basement. Wow! Jet Black. Fucking hell! Black Spiders.
Jet Black. Yeah, Lemmy. Yeah.
You know, what they called? Buck Cherry. Buck Cherry. Know, that album.
15. Well, I know Buck Cherry had been around a long time. I think they were around in the 90s, but. I think quite a few of the bands we mentioned had been around a while, but all of a sudden they became, I don't know, they were in again. Do you know what I mean? They were like this, this new. I hate to use the expression, but like a new wave of that kind of music. Yeah. Suddenly it was, you know, it was all right to be wearing your flares again. And
well, when we went to watch Airborne in 2008 at Manchester Academy 1, that's a big old venue, is that, isn't it?
Yeah,
you know, and them lads were like, what, 20s, 23?
Really, they'd have been early 20s then,
and I couldn't believe how packed, we were absolutely packed in, weren't they?
Yeah.
That is a hell of a rise to...
And it was full of young people as well, like, it wasn't...
Oh, yeah.
I mean, well, as well as, you know, people that had grown up in other generations listening to rock music and come to watch that again, but it wasn't just them, you know, they weren't like some sort of heritage throwback kind of thing, you know, to appeal to them. Well, we were there, so, you know.
Yeah.
It was just...
I think maybe were they on Roadrunner? Because Roadrunner were massive at that time.
I was going to bring this up, actually. I was going to say, probably more than half the bands we mentioned then were on Roadrunner.
Yeah.
And the American Roadrunner record label, which I'm not sure... I think it does exist, but it's a shadow of what it once was, you know, like...
Yeah, you don't really hear... I don't know, it was hard to avoid anything Roadrunner at that time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Slipknot,
yeah.
Nickelback, was it?
Coheed and Cambria, I remember them being on it.
Was Shinedown on...
Shinedown were, yeah.
I've got some...
Slash's album
was he on Roadrunner, right? Yeah, I've got some... I remember I picked up from... There's a CD. There's like a CD DVD shop in Lancaster. I can't remember what it was called. Henry worked there for a while. What was it called? The MVC, was it? Where you could go and exchange.
Yeah.
And they had the music section. They were only cheap. They had these like Roadrunner. I got 2 or 3 of them Roadrunner like DVDs, and they had like 20 bands on them, all their music videos.
I remember.
I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, I remember that.
Picked them up and I was like, fuck, I couldn't believe how many massive bands were on
Roadrunner. Yeah, they were. I know they were sort of killing it at the time, and then I guess I don't really want to start talking about things I don't know about, but then
okay, now
I know a bit like
episode 43 of things we don't know what we're talking about.
But it's then the label seemed to really just trim down like massively.
Yeah.
I don't know what prompted that, but it definitely, looking back, you can definitely see a time when that music was the sort of the thing, you know, like in rock anyway, and in guitar music, and then it went a bit more like grindcore. Is that a thing? You know, what's that? Bring Me the Horizon and
Yeah, everything. I didn't, to be honest. The whole that kind of side of things. I don't mind listening to it, but I never followed it religiously, so I don't.
No.
I don't really know. I don't know what I don't know what core is what core. Or, I really don't. I really ain't gonna profess to know.
Corey Taylor core.
You know, I am a sort of a heavy metal, rock and roll, punk.
Yeah.
Indie, grunge.
It works
that's
better.
about the five. That's it. I am not up on like all the
It
subgenres.
I think it works.
Thrash. Yeah. Well,
It's cleaner, right? In that way, when you have these broader kind of things, and then each one of them could be sort of broken down into whatever. But I don't go into that really. You know, it's
maybe we just got a bit too old for that.
Well,
maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
I don't think so, because I reckon you got people back in the 70s going, oh, that, you know, Pink Floyd aren't a prog band, you know, or know they're a. I don't know.
Whoever's current, the bigger you get, and whoever's current at the time always gets. They always get stick, don't they?
Yeah.
But no, we saw some amazing bands around that time. Like I say, the answer. What's the? I remember borrowing. I probably still.
Well, the first album, Rise.
Was it that one with Demon Eyes on it?
No, I think that was the second album. I think that might have been called Oh, hang on a minute. Everyday Demons.
Everyday Demons.
Is that what the album was called?
Again, them two albums were amazing, weren't they?
Fantastic.
Absolutely. Yeah. And also I remember at the time, I mean, things have changed a lot. I know money is a big thing. But like, you used to get the big classic rock magazine awards, didn't there? I remember you saying that, you know, at the time it was like the newcomers, the awards were like The Answer and what they called Roadstar.
Roadstar.
They became Heaven's Basement, didn't they? Because they were killer as Roadstar, weren't they? That was a great...
Yeah.
I remember hearing that album.
Yeah, well, I saw him
long time ago.
I saw Roadstar.
Did you really?
In Manchester, yeah.
Right, okay.
And then I saw him again supporting Thunder, I think. And I saw The Answer supporting Thunder as well.
Right,
there was
okay.
you know, clearly had their fingers on the pulse.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I thought, Answer's still going strong. They did a bit of a sabbatical for a while, I think. But they're back again, aren't they? And the new stuff's great. And I still think he's one of the best voices in modern rock, without a doubt. Unbelievable voice.
Cool mofo.
Not only has it got it's unusual to hear somebody who has such a unique style but still sounds unbelievable. Like, you know, some people when they sound amazing, they sound very, very similar. They don't have any quirks or anything in their voice. You can tell it's him.
Yeah. And
he has his own magnificent bloody ability to sing.
They are a fantastic band. And we did remember that thing we did on that boat in Sweden to
Finland, was it?
Yeah, it was just a ferry between Stockholm and Helsinki, and they had just put some bands on this big boat. Bear in mind, it was freezing. It wasn't like a big summery kind of outdoor thing. It wasn't
like, no Monsters of Rock cruise.
No, it wasn't.
It was
this wasn't some Miami
blowing a frigging gale, wasn't it?
And we I remember we were playing. The Answer were playing.
Yeah.
Saxon were playing.
Oh, they were great.
And then there was like this super group with
seeing Saxon in that little. It was like a little tiny ballroom.
Yeah, it was like a miniature ballroom.
Absolutely crackers it was.
It was absolutely mental. And I remember I watched Saxon with Paul out at the Answer.
Oh yeah, the guitar player.
Yeah, and that was cool because I've always thought a lot of them guys, and it was nice to sort of talk to them on a kind of you know, not from just a fanboy point of view. It was
yeah.
That was cool. But yeah, the Answer, and that was the first time at that time in quite a while that I'd actually watched a full Answer gig from start to finish. And it's fair to say them gigs are difficult when you're playing to a bunch of you know, pissed up Swedes.
Yeah.
Who show no mercy.
No.
And Cormac had him, you know, he had him there. Right there. Which ain't easy, you know. It ain't easy doing it at the best of times, but he managed to. He got a real kind of fairly hostile crowd onto their side.
Yeah, really fucking
brilliant.
Amazing. He's a great
really
front
good.
man. Yeah, they are fantastic. Yeah, and who was the other band that were on there? That was Gus G, wasn't it?
It was some super group with Ronnie Romero.
Romero. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, singing. Yeah. The guy he was singing with Rainbow Only for a while.
And someone from Europe, I think.
Gus G was on guitar.
Yeah, Gus G was.
It was the drummer. I'm sure I'm not making this up. Who's the band? Are they from like the 80s? Maybe heavy metal band. They play in suits of armour or something. They play like
Manowar.
Was it Man? Not there wasn't Manowar. There's another one. Somebody will know. I'm sure I remember asking somebody saying this guy was playing drums. It was Rookie or somebody said, "Oh yeah, they plays in that band. They all dress up in suits of armour or in like armour, chainmail and that." I don't think it's Manowar. It's on the tip of my tongue and I can't remember. Somebody will.
Agincourt.
Agincourt. Remember them lads, eh? Oh, they don't like us, do they? Hey, boredom to bug the shit out of them. Hard Rock L1, yeah. Yeah,
on the bloody fields of Agincourt.
Brilliant band. Absolutely brilliant. What a laugh we had watching them. Fantastic. Loved them, yeah.
Yeah, well, mental mental time, that boat. But, we, just going back to it, there was something about, and I don't think, when we sort of said we were going to talk about this, I was really trying to, am I just thinking of that time just because it was a sort of pivotal time in my life and because it was like a good years for me?
Maybe. Maybe a little bit.
Do I look back and think through rose-tinted spectacles?
Maybe. But at the time, those guys, I mean, Airborne were in Academy 1. They were legitimately a big band.
Yeah.
Blackstone Cherry come over from America. They were
doing Apollo. And
friggin' hell, their albums were like, killer. And they're playing big venues. The Answer got the AC/DC to it.
Yeah, they were doing that,
like, massive, wasn't it? These guys were really flying. I think it genuinely was. Buck Cherry were big. Yeah, some of the other bands, they never just quite got to them at those heights. Like the Black Spiders, still going now. Heaven's Basement. They kind of split up, didn't they? Richie, the singer, left, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
Because originally they were a 5-piece, weren't they?
They were, yeah. And then, but the thing is,
they supported Thunder when we went to watch Thunder at Academy 1.
Heaven's
Basement did,
Heaven's Basement, right?
When they were still a 5-piece,
right?
I'm sure they did, yeah.
Well, I think the only like totally original member of Heaven's Basement ended up being the drummer,
something like that.
Like Chris Rivers, is it?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Whatever. I mean, but these
nice now, isn't
he? Yeah, he was. Yeah, Dad. I remember seeing a picture of like Jose Mourinho picking up a commission that he'd done.
I don't really follow. I don't follow it on social media much now.
But this is going back away. But
I do follow his page.
Sticks out in my mind.
I'm not surprised. He's incredible.
But I genuinely think that was a great time because there were even bands like, and I think Skinhead were on Roadrunner at the time.
Were they?
And they'd done
God and Guns.
Yeah, they did the God and Guns album. Politics aside, it's a fantastic album. It's a brilliant slice of like just good punchy rock and roll it's great. I don't think that was just a bit of good luck, really, because as far as I'm aware, they hadn't really done much through the 90s or maybe even 80s, really.
They sort of came out of nowhere again, didn't they? I always thought they were like kind of that, the Lynyrd Skynyrd flipping Sweet Home Alabama sort of Freebird, and then all of a sudden, like you say, it was everywhere. I want it all over Classic Rock magazine. It's flipping all over the press. It's all over
Unbroken.
radios.
I remember a song called Unbroken.
And it's like, wow, bloody hell, what a way to come back.
Yeah, they're really good, and I think that was due to a lot of the influence at the time with what younger bands were doing, because it was suddenly
cool again,
and they were putting new music out again, and it was okay to do that rather than just go out and wheel out all your bloody old classics.
Well, it's almost like it's a green light to go back to doing what you want to do, rather than bands. Sometimes, God love bands, and they don't really have much choice. They evolve, don't they, and try and move with the times. And sometimes it works, and sometimes it just looks a little bit sad, doesn't it? You adjust your sound and you adjust your style, and you lose faith in what you were because it's just not fashionable anymore. So you change up. Like Motley Crue did it, didn't they?
It's sad. It's sad if you don't mean it, and you're clearly doing it because
you've tried to fit in.
Yeah.
But all those bands, maybe gave Skinner a green light to go. Fucking hell, yeah, we're on the comeback trail. We're cool, it's cool again, playing like, clean guitars or whatever, straightforward rock songs.
Yeah.
But but it was good. And sorry to interrupt you there. That kind of kicked off the Rambling Man Festival, I thought, as well. Really,
Rambling Man, yeah.
That was a bit later, wasn't it? I think than 2008. I don't know when the first one was, but that was very much.
Did we play the first one? Because that would have been about 2016 then.
First one or second one, I'm not sure. I don't think we played the first one. But I'll tell a lie. It was kind of High Voltage. That was around that time, wasn't it? High Voltage Festival in London. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I think that only happened 2 or 3 times.
Oh yeah, you're
There's
right.
some absolutely amazing footage on YouTube of Schenker at High Voltage in London, Hyde Park was it? And it's amazing. And he gets his brothers there, Rudy Schenker's there, and he's got all ex-members of bloody Scorpions there and all sorts. It's great. It's about half an hour, 40 minutes long. It's fucking brilliant. His sun's blazing. Really good footage. Yeah, it's good. Oh, yeah, Thunder, because Thunder I think headlined one of them high voltage festivals. I'm sure
I seem to remember him coming out of one of the retirements. I think for that.
we saw the final show at Download in
2009. That
9 or 10, wasn't it? Yeah, it was in the tent, wasn't it? This is our last show, our last ever show.
I think they did one more. I think it was Sonosphere.
All right,
like the next day because I think they were on, or the next weekend or something like that.
Did Andy Copping get on stage with them? I seem to remember him getting on stage with him. Or something.
I remember being. Well, I don't remember really because I was absolutely.
To be honest, yeah, that's probably. It's probably one of the only.
Very,
bands.
very drunk.
I remember what they called. What was the band that the drummer came on in his underpants?
Enter
Shikari. Drummer came on in his fucking underpants. Brilliant. Laughed my ass off. There was loads of bands.
They were a secret band, weren't they? I
think they were. Yeah. They played in the tent. I think they played right after Thunder.
Right.
I think Thunder went off, and we were just sort of
mooching about
like this in the toes on next. Didn't want to go out in the sunshine because it was about 8,000 degrees.
Yeah.
Yes, and then Ishikari came on. Yeah. I seem to remember. Yeah.
And now, yeah. Contrasting.
Good times.
It was really good. It was a really good time. But again, this is it. It was like. I think it was just. I just think it was a strong time for music. Even bands that weren't new, like I said before, were still doing great stuff. You know, there was all these package concerts going on. You know, with like Journey and Whitesnake and Def Leppard and Foreigner and whatever. But they were still like kicking ass at the time. You know what I mean? They were still great.
Well, it gave the green light, didn't it? All those newer rock bands, it's a resurgence, isn't it? It brings the other bands back into play, doesn't it? Everyone starts it just links you to like all the bands you might have forgotten about, or the bands that were maybe on a bit of a on the slide or something. You know, just everyone gets back into it, don't they?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know when that Buck Cherry album came out. 15. That might have come out way before 2008-9, but. It can't have been even if it was in the last 10 years before that, it was still fresh enough to be relevant.
Oh, no, I think it was
because of these newer bands. You know?
I think it was.
I can't remember. I know I had it on a tape.
I'm going to look. Spotify is going to be my friend.
But
here.
then I tell you what. Then I get like an example of that is how I started listening to as a result of all those newer bands and having rock and having these albums in my van in the van we used to go to London in and whatever. We had about 5 tapes in there. Was Damn Yankees again? I started listening to them. I don't know where that album came from. I started listening to them in my van.
Yankees, yeah.
I know they're way before bloody, you know.
2006, that album.
Was it 15?
So, yeah,
it's a fucking great album.
That is good.
That is a brilliant album. Yeah, Buck Cherry.
Well, that to me, that year to me is when that all kind of started again, really, because of albums like that. And I think Airborne's first album was about 2007.
Yeah, I think so.
About
I think
that
2007.
time.
You're right.
Yeah. And then bands were just sort of like really sort of starting to come out because I was at uni at the time, and I remember it suddenly like a load of bands were playing. I went to university in Wrexham, you know, like that really famous. Well, it is now actually. Like at the time, it used to be a joke that no one ever went to Wrexham for anything.
As a university.
I know, and now it's like. Thanks to Ryan and his mate, everyone wants a piece of Wrexham. But so I was there for 3 years, and there was a venue called Central Station. We ended up playing.
Yeah.
Played it once or twice. I can't remember. And the and all of a sudden, like all these bands are like playing it, you know, and they were like they'd stood out. Anyway, because it was like DJs and, you know, electronic kind of outfits. So I remember Pendulum sort of came through it like when they were first coming up. And then all of a sudden like these bands were doing it.
Crazy.
So yeah, it was really good. Really, really good. Good time.
It was a good time. Yeah, that Airborne album, fucking hell. The first one, the other guy had it off my stereo for about a year. We used to watch the live at Wacken in 2008, wasn't it? Done the second stage. I must have watched that. I bet I've watched it 1,000 fucking times over the years. Oh, brilliant. It's just so like, used to get the blood pumping. We used to go out, play gigs in the pub on a
just going out drinking, before you go out drinking.
Yeah,
let's just watch this.
Let's get the Airborne gig on. And it's just like, I don't know, it's just like fired you up, didn't it?
Yeah.
It used to fire you up somehow, I don't know.
There did seem to be an energy, and a lot of that energy. Blackstone Cherry, the big two really, I think, at the time, for us as a band, were probably Airborne and Blackstone
Definitely.
Cherry. Those two, we ended up, if you were unfortunate enough to listen to our very first album, that's the kind of,
unfortunately you could still buy it.
That's the kind of cocktail that you've got going on there. Really, it's the Drop D stuff, but with
Brownstone Cherry.
Yeah, with the Airborne energy. Fucking Lewborn, porcelain born.
Oh dear God! Yeah, no, that's what it was. We were sort of playing the down-tuned music, but giving it the Airborne sort of energy on stage, wasn't it? It was the power of the show kind of thing.
And then the second album, we kind of
recorded in a toilet.
And then the second album, we sort of refined that a little bit. We realised that we wanted to move away from the drop tuning thing. We sort of made that decision then.
Yeah.
And it was a good decision, really, because I think so many bands do it, and even now they keep doing it, and it's like we're a rare thing, amongst our contemporaries, really, in that we play in a sort of...
We rarely play any down-tune stuff, do we?
Yeah.
It's an addictive thing, though, isn't it? When you play that, it feels good, doesn't it? It's like, oh, yeah.
Well, then, and then I don't want to start, but then all of a sudden, all your song keys are in the same key, because you want to chug around on that, those low Ds, and then you end up just everything's in the same bloody key.
Yeah, and it all sounds very similar, doesn't it? Your stuff and other people's stuff.
So I'm glad we stepped away from that, but that was that was in at the time. Shinedown, always did that. Blackstone Cherry did that, and it never really seemed to bother them. Although I'll be honest though, until about the third or fourth album, when I started to get a bit,
gets a bit tiresome.
I'm getting a bit tired of this.
But yeah, I do. It proves though that their songwriting shines through when they're playing the down tune stuff like a lot of bands are playing. But their songs are that good that it doesn't sound just like another down tune song, does it? No. His voice is fucking out of this universe.
Excellent voice, excellent drumming.
Oh my God! And John Fred Young's drums are fucking mind blowing.
It's great playing,
That combination of the right combination of the right players and songwriters, it just makes it can make something magical, can't it? Well, look at AC/DC, all right, whatever you think of AC/DC now, there have been millions of AC/DC clone bands, and none of them have managed to scale the heights AC/DC have scaled.
It's only 3 chords.
Yeah, well, there you go. There you go.
Yep. Before we go, I'm going to mention something that's happening next week. If you're watching this podcast in the future, it won't make it. It won't matter. You can just send the video now. Yeah. But on the 8th of June, we're going to be playing a tribute for Dave Myers.
Yeah.
Recently passed away, very unfortunately. Amazingly lovely chap, and we've been very fortunate to be asked to be part of his memorial event, which is happening at the rugby ground in Barrow-in-Furness, which is where he was from. Mm-hmm. So we're doing that.
There's a few tickets left.
There is. I think there's like 10% of the tickets left. There's I think it's 5,000-6,000 tickets available, and they're nearly gone. But let's get it sold out. It'll be great. It'll be good. It'll be a good laugh.
It's going to be good. We're
playing.
We're not playing the first album, though, don't we? We're playing it in its entirety.
There's a bunch of bands playing, and we're playing with, there'll be some special guests and
there will
different kind of stuff to your usual wagon stuff. So come down if you can. We'll see you there.
Do it.
Get your tickets. Link below.
And check out our tour later in the year.
Aye.
Shameless plug.
Like, subscribe.